Today, I'm 39 years old and have been a full-time entrepreneur for 14 years. But if I could go back to my 21-year-old self and give her some advice on how to build a better business and make more money in less time, this is what I would say. Number one, stop managing time and start managing energy. Do you need to pay attention to how you're spending your time? Sure. Tracking, it's really good. Calendar blocking is a great way to allocate your time wisely. But if you're constantly worried about managing time and not actually thinking about how you're spending your energy and where that energy is going, you are missing the point. The whole reason why time management, calendar blocking, and all that stuff is useful is because you need to see where you spend your best energy. When are you at your best? When should you be doing certain things? I tell you what, I'm not filming videos at 6 o'clock in the morning on Mondays. Yeah, do they say to eat the frog first thing in the morning to start the day, do the hardest task first? Of course they do. This is a pretty hard task. I need to do it. I'm not doing it first thing in the morning. I am not at my best. I know when I have the right energy on camera. I know when I'm prepared. I know when it's time to do this. And so I need to set myself up for success. If I have to film at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday, what has to happen over the weekend? What has to happen the week before? What has to happen Monday morning? All of that is energy management so that I can get here to one of the hardest, most important tasks that I do in my business and do it well. When you are side hustling, it's very easy to get caught up in the hours and the minutes and when am I gonna have time for this, that, and the other thing. What matters most is what are you spending time on that's taking good energy away from your business where you could get so much further and faster if you weren't doing the things that were taking away from it. Number two, sell before building anything. It doesn't matter if you're side hustling or you're working full time. It's very easy to go down the rabbit hole of building something you think is gonna be wildly successful and work before you go and actually get somebody to pay you for it. And then you get all nice and organized with your course and you're like, I love it, I can't wait to tell the world about it. And you go tell the world about it and they don't buy it. You think there's something wrong with what you built, but nobody actually knows what you built because you haven't sold it yet. What's actually happening is you haven't gotten good at talking about it yet. And by getting good at talking about stuff, it means you're getting good at selling and marketing. And that's what actually indicates what makes something worthwhile to buy. And you might have found that in that process of selling and marketing that you can make it better than you would have had you just come up with it in a vacuum all by yourself. When you side hustle, there's nothing more important than getting cash into the business so that you can get to a point where you aren't side hustling anymore. So that you can get to a point where it is a business that you get to focus all your attention on. And then when you are full-time in the business, there's nothing more important than cash flow to keep it going. So if you never figure out how to bring money into the business to begin with, you're never gonna have a business. You just have a fun hobby. No one is starting a business that's supposed to help them pay their rent and be more financially fruitful by just getting really good at a hobby. So get really clear, no matter how long it takes to build something, no matter how amazing it's going to be, that you find out how to bring cash in for it first. Get those first guinea pigs on board. It'll be worth it for them because they'll get a better deal for it. And it'll be worth it for you because you'll have actual money in your bank account to hold you accountable when you're doing energy management to focus on the business. Number three, whew, this one hurts. Get ready. Competence will keep you right where you are. Incompetence will make you rich. I hate this one. I hate that this one is true. I hate this one being true so much, and yet I cannot unknow it. Competent is something I have been fighting to let the world know that I am for my entire life. I wanted everyone to know, I still want everyone to know that I am wildly competent, well-read, brilliant, smart. I want everyone to know it. But it turns out that when you're constantly trying to prove how competent you are, you do too much. You do everything. You literally try to figure out the systems and time management to do everything, and it's impossible. And guess what? While you're trying to do that thing, that's impossible, you don't get better at asking for help. And when you ask for help, you have to have a certain level of incompetence. You have to have a certain level of vulnerability. You have to say, I could do that if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna want to. Maybe I would want to do it today, but in 10 years, I'm gonna be tired of doing stuff like that, and I need to plan on being tired at that point. So I need someone else to do it. You get to that level faster, sooner, you level yourself up, you increase your hourly rate faster when you get a little incompetent. And I know this is true because of how many incompetent people I've met in my life that still somehow figured out that if they can coordinate a beautiful effort of competent people and they stay competent in their best way and they let everyone else be competent in their best way, that they can make something bigger and affect more lives and make each other happier because we get to all do the things that are best for us and affect change in the world while making money doing it. That's a special place to be. You can say, oh, I'll just learn how to ask for help. That's fine. But I know us. We say we'll ask for help and then we don't. So I have to tell you this, that you, by continuing to try to convince everyone that how competent you are in doing all the things is going to keep you right where you are. And if you want to do everything forever, stay right where you are. But if you see yourself leading a much more efficient operation at some point, be a little incompetent. Don't be afraid of it. Don't take it personal. When someone yells at you like, how stupid are you? Just be thinking, ooh, they think I'm stupid. They think I am, but I'm smarter than them because they think I'm stupid. So now they're doing it. And I just got their help. And it's not about swindling people. It's just that we have to swindle ourselves a little bit to get us to stop being on the hamster wheel that we shouldn't be on anymore. You are competent. You are worthy. You don't even need to know everything, and you're doing great. But the more areas that you let yourself be incompetent in and know that you can get somebody else smarter than you to get activated to help you with it, the better off you'll be. Certainly, the more money you'll make. Get more manpower to help you get it done. Number 4, hire the coach you need right now, and then always have one on speed dial. It does not matter if you're side hustling and you just started yesterday. Doesn't matter if you've been in business for 14 years full-time as an entrepreneur. You need a coach. There's something you need to overcome right now and someone else who can help you do it way faster. If you play video games, you might get this a little bit. There are cheat codes that help you get further, faster in a game that you don't quite understand or know yet. What you want is the cheat code that helps you play the game better. Most people go and hire a coach and they think that coach is going to help them cross the finish line. Somebody cannot hand you the game. They cannot give you the medal for no work. But what they can do is help you skip the mistakes. If you've ever played Super Mario Brothers, you probably know you go through this game and there are moments where you can jump on a mushroom and it will double your size. We love that, right? I didn't jump on a mushroom and then win the game. I jumped on the mushroom and I doubled in size. That's what happens when you hire a coach. You still have to do the work, but now you are leveled up to be able to do it better. What do you need leveled up in this moment? That's where you hire a coach. If you take that mindset on when you hire a coach, you will never, ever hire a bad coach. You'll know how to get your money's worth on what you spent because you'll know what you need right now. If I just level up in this way, I can do this part of the game and I can get past that and I can be better for it and I can be more efficient and do the next thing. That's how you become the best coachee of all time. Number 5, you don't need to know everything first. Similar to how I just said you need to hire a coach, it's very easy to just start paying for a course and think, oh, as long as I pass this course and I get my diploma and I get my arbitrary permission slip from someone, I'll be all set. I'll be able to do the thing. I talk to people all the time when I am assessing potential new coaching clients, and they'll say, oh, I am getting this degree right now, and once I have that, then I'll be able to do all the things. Okay, great. You're waiting for that arbitrary permission slip so that you can start to market yourself, brand yourself, talk about what you do because you think you have to. Part of it though is I feel like I need to know everything before I dive in. You're never gonna know everything. You're never gonna know everything. You can't know everything unless you do the work. There might be some things you can't do unless you have a certain certification, but there are lots of other things you can do to prepare yourself, to do the work, to do the inner work, to get coached, to get knowledgeable, to get mentally tough, to get in the game. There are things you can do. You will not know everything first. You have to start to know anything at all. By the way, I just want to take a moment to let you know that we have a goal for this channel to hit 500,000 subscribers, and we would love your help if you could take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Number 6, if you're always afraid of ripping someone off, you're never going to do anything. There are no original ideas. If you've ever gotten mad at somebody because you thought they took your thing, then you never had a thing to begin with. Okay? I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. I might tell myself in the future, Amy, that was really silly of you to say. But at this moment in my life, and I've had a lot of experience, I've watched so many people complain that somebody took their thing and they ripped it off from me and that's not right and all this. Please, if someone is able to rip you off that easily, you never had anything good to start with. I have learned that the best coaches let you take everything they teach you because they know it works and they actually want you to succeed. When I start every coaching call, I tell them, take everything from me. Copy paste everything. Do what works. If it worked to get you here, work it for your business. And I tell them that because if they're afraid of taking what they learned from me because they think they need to manipulate it into making it their own, they might break the machine that works. And you might move something around. You might change the sequence. You might customize it too much to a point where it doesn't work as well. And that will make you think you're having a bad experience with me as your coach. And I definitely don't want that. Do not be afraid of ripping someone off. Do you need to make something feel like it makes sense for your relationship with your community, your customers, your audience, and you? Yes. But if the process works, use the process. Number 7, if longer hours make you feel more successful, go back to a job. There are some people who are just cut from this cloth, and that is fine. The idea of being incompetent, not working for you, like I said in a previous tip, is probably going to be what indicates if this is you or not. If you think you need to start working at 4 a.m. and not finish until it's time for bed at 10 o'clock at night, you're doing it wrong. You have to be a person in a business that does the least, but makes the most significant change. That's a special place to be. That is a high-paying position. So for you to get to that point, you cannot feel like you did the most in the business today because you worked the most hours, because your tasks should be much more high level than that. So if you worked too many hours today, we need to figure out how to change that to get you to the level that you're going to be. And that's what business growth is. That's what building sustainability is. Number 8, don't pay to grow the business, pay to buy your time back. This is where the last tip is going to make sense for you. I learned this from a great book called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And in it, he talks about the replacement ladder and how you replace yourself in a business. The first replacement is an admin, somebody who checks your email and manages your calendar. This is the simplest of tasks. This is the most low paying of tasks that you should not be doing if you are running a company. But you have to get better at offloading those lower level tasks to eventually be able to buy back your time at the highest level. The mistake I've made in my business before is thinking I need to buy all the growth in my business. If I want to have the biggest podcast in the world, I need to buy a podcast department. If I want to have the biggest YouTube channel in the world, I need to buy a YouTube department. If I need to have this or that, I just need to buy it. But if it was never part of the business to begin with and you don't know how to run it, you're just trying to buy a bigger business and not buy your time back. When you don't buy your time back, you don't get better at sustaining the business. And all the areas the business is actually making money still being on your plate means you're buying things that don't have a model attached to them from a cash flow standpoint. And you are going to go into debt or go bankrupt very quickly. And I do not recommend it. Not a fun experience. Where does the business currently work? What do you sell? How do you deliver it? How do you get the admin done? How do you sell it? How do you market it? If these are areas of your day, that's where you need to buy your time back. When you buy your time back, then you can increase your hourly rate or your worth so that you can grow the business yourself. But when you are side hustling, you need to figure out how to build a business properly before you buy into a business when you don't know how it works. Buy back your time so that you know how that time needs to be spent by someone else, and then you spend that time you bought back into something that actually makes it grow successfully. Number 9, don't worry about diversifying revenue. Master one revenue stream. I was sold a bill of goods at the beginning of my business journey, side hustling and even into full-time entrepreneurship at the beginning. I thought I needed to have like 10 different revenue streams. Do you know what that did for me? It gave me 10 balls to keep up in the air. And you are not good at keeping multiple balls in the air. I hate to break it to you. You might be the most competent, but you're probably the most competent at just one of those balls. If you were to take that one ball and master balancing it, that would change the game. The cash flow would get crazy good because you're buying back your time, you're getting better at delivering your product, you're making more money because it's becoming more valuable, you are getting more demand. And then you can diversify because you have the resources to sustain diversifying the revenue streams you have. But when you're making a couple thousand here, a couple thousand there, a couple hundred over here, but it's great, we have diverse revenue. That is not efficient. Stop worrying about diversifying your revenue streams. get good at one revenue stream, diversify the amount of clientele you have, that's what sustains it. Number 10, your product doesn't matter that much. This is going to be hard to hear because, like I said before, you like to build things before you've proven concept. But what I've learned is that if you sell solutions, you will win. And the solution might look very different than you originally thought. And that's okay. If you go with that headspace, you're forced to have a conversation with a real person, a real business, a real customer, and find out what their problems are. When you find out what the problems are, you think of solutions. When you think of solutions, you're thinking of something to sell. And when you have something to sell, you try to sell it. Like, oh, I have this problem. I wonder who could help me with that. Oh, that's interesting. Well, what if you just did this? Well, that'd be great. Actually, that'd be really great. But how the heck do I make that happen? Oh, I can help you make that happen. Go wanting to solve problems. Go wanting to find solutions. And when you do, that's how you come up with the product. Who cares what the product is? Cash flow, doing the work so that you can figure out how to make a product in the first place, figure out how to have a relationship with a customer in the first place, and grow from there. Your product doesn't matter that much. Just make it make sense. Number 11, get in the deep end energetically. When you side hustle, you are in the kiddie pool. You're in a professional kiddie pool. Congratulations, it's you. Hi, you're in the kiddie pool. You have a full-time gig, you're doing the full-time thing, and you're side hustling, you're dipping your toe in, you're doing it when you have spare hours. It doesn't matter if you have spare hours or full-time hours, because full-time entrepreneurs have a hard time with this too. You need to get in the deep end. It does not matter how experienced you are. You need to be all in. You need to be 100% clear that you're going to figure out how to succeed. You need to be 100% in the belief that you're going to make it happen. You need to be 100% that you will deliver on what you say you're going to. If you do those things, you will be in the deep end. If you're in the deep end, you will succeed. Every day is about testing whether or not you're in the deep end. Are you going pro? Are you doing the things that are the standards of a highly efficient business? Are you in the deep end? Because if you feel like you're in the kiddie pool in ways that you're supposed to be in the deep end, then you're in the kiddie pool. You will take it more seriously when you do the work that it takes. And oftentimes you will notice you're not doing the work it takes when you're like, oh, I checked this box, I checked this box, I checked that box, I checked that box. Well, I must be doing the work. If you're just checking boxes and you're not seeing how you can be better, you're in the kiddie pool. Get in the deep end energetically. Even if you don't have the resources to be all the way in it, be there here. Number 12, your morning routine matters until it doesn't. Listen, I wrote a book called Good Morning, Good Life. I am all about the morning routine. But what I know for sure is important about the morning routine is starting the day on your terms. You have to get energetically on your terms. When you're side hustling, you're still on someone else's terms full time. So it's very hard for you to wrap your head around you being the boss of the whole situation, which is why a morning routine matters. It helps you to feel like the day is yours so that you'll get to a point where that's the norm, that's the standard, and you do not have time for a full-time job anymore because this is your day and you'll do what you want with it because you know what you need to sell, you know how to grow the business, and you want to make it more efficient. Your morning routine helps you get into that mindset. But romanticizing the morning routine for the rest of your life is a great way to stay right where you are. And that's why I even wrote in my book, Good Morning, Good Life, about people who have morning routines, but they're still not doing what you think a morning routine should be perfectly by the book. Some people do check their email in the morning. It's because they figured out what they need to do to start the day on their terms. So do not worry so much about the morning routine. Just know how to have that intention to start so that you can figure out having the intention for the entirety of your day. Number 13, focus. People have no idea what the word focus means. Not the slightest idea. A lot of people like to tell you why they don't have focus, whether it's diagnosed or not. It does not matter what your constraints are, what the issues are, what's holding you back. If you always remember this, that focus stands for follow one course until successful, you will know what focus is. You will know if you're focusing. You will know if you need focus help. You will know if you need a focus coach. You will know if you need focus music. Follow one course until successful. That's all focus is. So stop diversifying, stop finding other ideas, just follow through on the thing you say you're gonna do. Make it happen. Find that point where you've found success and make sure you measure it. And you see, why did that happen? How can we recreate it? Do we want more of this? Did we hate it? Did we love it? Do we want to build a whole model on this thing? Follow one course until successful. It's going to tell you what to do next. Number 14, stop acting like price is your problem. I oftentimes get the feedback that my pricing is too expensive. When someone tells me my pricing is too expensive, all I know is that they think that what I have to sell is an expense. Think of that. When something is an expense, you've written it off. It doesn't matter. Well, I'm not in the business of offering expenses to people. I'm in the business of offering value. So if someone says that my price is too expensive, I just didn't do a very good job of articulating the value. So that's how I get better as a business person. That's how I get better as a marketer. That's how I get better as a salesperson. My price is not the problem. My price could be $500 higher. It could be $5,000 higher. It's all about how I articulate the value. So my price is not the problem. Even when someone tells me my price is the problem, my price is not the problem. How you talk about what you do and how it's going to affect lives and how you're going to bring value to someone's life, that's what we're solving for. And 15, measure what matters every single day. Are you not making enough profit in the business? Are you measuring it every day? Then maybe you should. Are you not getting any new followers on your YouTube channel? Are you measuring it every day? Maybe you should. If something actually matters in the business and you're not measuring it every single day, it is not a focus point. It is not something you're actually intentionally planning on getting better at. You're not in the deep end. If you care about cash flow, if you care about how many people are on your email list, if you care about dollars, if you care about followers, it's all gotta get measured every single day. Because if you're following a standard every day, the metric will change. If you get success in some way, the metric will change. If you did something that failed big time, the metric will change. You've got to measure every day because when you focus on something, it expands. You get better because you see what works and what doesn't. So measure what matters every single day. Those are my 15 brutal truths that I wish I knew when I was side hustling. If you want to learn the 3 things successful businesswomen do every morning, then you can check that link below and I'll see you there.